Today I'm going to talk about some simple ways, simple techniques to better understand how to use your MPC as an instrument. I'm using this to load some samples. There's some low quality samples that I did not make myself. I'll go through them so you can hear them. What I'm going to be talking about is velocity. Each pad has 16 levels of velocity, which is how loud it plays when you hit it. A lot of people don't use this to their advantage enough to make things more interesting in their mix. So I'm going to show you how to practice. First off, if you turn it all the way down, you hear nothing, and if you turn it up, you hear something. A lot of people turn the volume up so that it sounds correct at the correct volume that they want when they hit it at the hardest point. That's what a lot of people turn their volume up to. What you really want to do is turn your volume up all the way, or almost all the way, so that when you hit it, it's way louder than what you really want it to be. The reason for this is so that you can use the velocity levels to your advantage. By practicing how hard you hit the pads, you can control the volume of each drum. A lot of people who use the MPC, beginners, pretty much use only one or two velocities. They hit it about as hard as they can hit it, so they're using the top level volume. If you have the volume turned all the way up and your speakers are loud enough, it's going to indicate to you that it's too loud, which is a good training for you to understand to not hit it so hard. So you hit it quieter so that it won't be too loud. That's too loud. One way to hit the pads really quiet is to just press them. Basically keep your fingers right on them and just press them. A lot of people's fingers, their strongest fingers are going to be their thumb, their index finger, and their middle finger, and their pinky finger and their ring finger are their weaker fingers. You can use that to your advantage also, because your weaker fingers are naturally going to touch lighter. So you almost have a gradient of how, from your smallest finger to your index finger to your thumb, you have a gradient of how hard you hit the pads, so you can practice and set up your samples in a manner that works to your advantage. Doing this is very good exercise to increase your skill with the MPC. Basically, you want to be able to play it almost like it's a piano key. And you want to eventually be equally as good with your right hand as you are with your left hand by practicing with both hands. So you can hear on that little section that I'm using some louder hits to my advantage to give it a more dynamic and depth. The pinky is a good finger to use for that because it's naturally going to hit the pad lighter. The way to hit hard with your pinky is to use your whole arm, and just to use your finger to hit soft. So those are two different kinds of hits. With the thumb and the index finger, you're going to hit a lot harder if you use your whole arm. Ultimately, you want to be able to use both your hands at the same time. You can use 2 fingers or 3 fingers. You can have your thumb down on the lower pads and your index fingers up on the higher pads. A skill to acquire is being able to hit the pads at 2 at the same time. So the idea is to learn to use all of your fingers to your advantage. Some fingers are going to be better at doing things than others. Those are tricks with velocity on your pads. I guarantee that your MPC recordings will sound a lot better once you learn this. Another aspect of this practice is that a more advanced lesson, you will learn how to use velocity to control other aspects of your sample, which will give you an extreme amount of power over your samples. And ultimately turning your MPC into more of an instrument, which it is.